Was this one of your own ones?
Yeah.
That you rode?
Yeah.
Right, taking it.
I only rode it a couple of times. Yeah. It was actually a little bit small for me.
Really?
Because I normally ride 6/4s.
Right.
So it was just kind of experimenting with like a smaller, sort of wider board.
A bit more volume.
So amazingly light.
Yeah, it felt really good, but I'm just not convinced about carbon down the middle.
Too stiff?
Yeah, it just feels stiffer because I've got a like I normally ride, standard construction.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple of like EPS boards that have got, just like a normal stringer down the middle, and they feel insane. But I just, don't know. The carbon just feels. It's got a different feel. Like it doesn't go bad, but it just doesn't feel like a stringer.
Yeah, so that's what you're used to? Or?
Yeah, I think it's probably what I'm used to as well.
Yeah. Well, it feels comfortable.
No flex at all.
Is it a quicker flex pattern? No.
I don't know.
You're not really,
That's just different.
You're not selling Ashford.
He was going to buy it.
I know.
I'll just fucking buy it anyway.
Like it goes good. I got on the first wave I got on, I came off the bottom and did one of the best off the tops I've done for ages.
There you go. Take it.
That was the first wave, and then after that, I just kind of went downhill. And then I rode it a few more times, and I'd have good sessions on it, and then sort of bad sessions, and then I got back on a normal foam board, and it just felt.
Yeah, and you're like,
This one just feels me. It's just I've ridden a 6/4 normal foam construction super twin for about the last 5 years. That's sort of all I normally ride.
Yeah.
So it's like it just feels like a worn-in pair of shoes or something.
Yeah. So in your view, that's like the ultimate combo of like it's got a little bit of the old MR20 in it.
Yeah.
And a bit more modernised. Is that your idea then?
Well, it's my idea of the ideal board.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it feels halfway between a twin fin and a thruster. Like the super twin that, the two fins with that little stabiliser, it feels like you've tamed all the quirks of a twin fin, as in the quirks being a little hard to ride backhand, especially that first bottom turn, and that little slidey feeling you get sometimes off the top. So it feels like those quirks are tamed, and then when you ride it compared to a thruster, it's got that sort of thruster feel with a little stabiliser in the tail, but it just feels like it's a little looser and a bit livelier. It's like a happy medium between the two boards. But again, that's kind of all I've ridden for the last 5 years. Like I jump back on a twin fin and it feels too loose now.
Yeah.
And then I ride a thruster and it actually feels, a little tight, unless you're taking off on a solid sort of 6 foot plus wave.
So what did you like after you were riding those famous 20s and stuff? Did you did you ever go the other way and ride just or did you always refine that principle and slowly move towards this kind of design?
I thought I saw you in Diarieds a while ago. I think you were on a thruster and it was about a foot and you were ripping. And I'm like, I don't know. I was hoping it was a twin fin.
You got that check I sent you, did you just say that?
I think that was even a thruster maybe. What was one maybe 15 years ago?
Oh, where do I go? I don't know where to start with that. Basically, the 20s sort of started in 78, and I guess they went to about 82, and there was sort of 3 generations of them, and all they did was get a little finer and a little bit narrower and a little bit sort of curvier in the tail. And then when the thruster came along, it sort of relegated the twin fin to into the museum piece. Basically, it was
Set for yourself.
Well, I kept riding them, but the problem was I got pigeonholed as the twin fin guy, and it was a thruster generation. Like guys were coming in going, "What do thrusters go like?" And I'm going, "Well, I don't know, I ride a twin fin." So, I just felt like I was sort of losing surfboard sales because I wasn't riding what people wanted to buy. So I started, because of that, riding thrusters, and that's probably when you saw me riding a thruster. And then the super twin actually came from Soida in Japan, who do my boards in Japan, and they'd been getting thrusters, and they actually ordered some twin fins for some of their team riders. And I thought, these guys are never going to be able to ride them if I send them all retro twins. So I just sort of went, I'll try and make a board halfway between the retro twins, like the old twin fin tail with, thruster curves, and just make it a little bit wider. And then, I whacked 2 fins in it. I thought it's still going to be too loose. So I just thought, if I put a little tiny fin in the tail, that should stiffen it up enough so it works. And I actually sent the first 4 or 5 to Japan for the team guys without ever riding one, and they, I think it was a fax in those days, they faxed back and said they go insane, and I'm kind of like, really? Did they good, did they?
Classic. So you had.
And then I made one for Mick, who works for me, and he's like a really good surfer, and he's going, hey, this thing goes insane. I'm just going, really? Does it go all right? And then I kind of did one for myself and went, wow, these things go pretty good. And that's sort of all I've ridden since then.
Cool.
So that was sort of where it came from, without the Japanese guys, it may not have, probably wouldn't have happened,